Welcome to Attainable Green. I'm Jess, and today I want to share with you a little Cattleya update that I have. To give a little background, I've been growing my Cattleyas on a second-story patio that faces south for the entire growing season, which is from spring to summer. And it'll probably stay there until late fall when I have to transfer them indoors for the winter time. Now, this is the first year that I am growing it in this particular spot, as opposed to my side yard, which gets a little bit more shade. Since I moved my Cattleyas to this location, they have been doing spectacular. This is probably the best growing season I've had on my Cattleyas, and that is saying a lot. So first, I want to start off with my Cattleya Siam Jade. Now, this plant has been doing spectacular. Every 6 months, this plant puts out one new growth and at least 1 to 2 flowers. Now, I haven't been very successful in blooming this one because one of the flowers always blasts before it fully blooms. So in the past, it was always one new growth and 1 flower for 6 months. But this time around, it grew 2 new growths and each spike had 4 buds. I wasn't paying attention and the slugs attacked half of the buds. So it went from 8 potential buds to now 4 flowers. This plant has been in bloom for about 3 weeks now and it's starting to fade. I think the Siam Jade flowers last about a month or so, but given this crazy heat wave that we've been having, the flowers are just fading a lot faster. So after the flowers fade, I'm going to remove the spent blooms and maybe repot this plant to give it more room for it to grow. I also noticed that the new growths in higher light are doing much better. The new growths are growing a lot straighter, they're stronger and more rigid, and also the leaves have kind of curved cup shape instead of a full flat open shape. Now, this is a little bit different than the previous growths because the new growths were a little bit floppy and they needed to be staked up, but this time around, they're doing fantastic. Next is my Laelia Santa Barbara. Now, this is a hybrid that is known for its very long spike and beautiful sunset colored flowers. And last year it grew 1 new growth and it started a spike, but it aborted halfway. I think this year it's going to do much better as the spike is starting, but I do have a couple of concerns. The first being is that the back half of the plant looks very dehydrated. Even though it has a good amount of roots and the new growth looks very healthy and plump, I'm thinking that this plant may need a repot after it blooms, just to see the state of the roots. This year it's taking a lot of light, so the new growth has a lot of purpling on the pseudobulb and on the leaves. So I'm hoping that this plant will create the spike and mature to fruition so we can see its beautiful flowers. Now, the next plant is an LC Tokyo Magic crossed with Martha Clarke, and this is considered a very robust and complex hybrid, and it is definitely the fastest growing plant that I have in my collection. This one put out 3 growths this year. Last season, it put out 2 new growths that both had sheaths, but no buds appeared. This time around, 2 of the new growths have sheaths in them, and it looks like there are a couple of buds developing inside. I'm really hoping that this one will bloom so I can see what the flowers look like because there is such a variation from this seedling population that I can get either a yellow flower with a pink lip or a pink sunset colored flower with the matching pink lip as well. Now, the last plant I want to share are actually 2 plants. It is the Laelia Zip. I picked 2 of the same plant because I know it's a seedling population, so there is going to be variation in the plant and how it grows. I already noticed a huge difference already because these 2 plants were about comparable size. One was bigger than the other, but with the new growth that has grown this year, there is a staggering difference. One plant I placed in a sunnier location in my patio, and there is a lot of anthocyanins that have come out in this plant. There's a lot of purple along the pseudobulb and on the leaves, and even the sheath itself has some color as well. I'm not sure if it's going to bloom because there's no buds yet, but it's still early, so I'm hoping that maybe we'll see something in the future. The next orchid was placed in a slightly shadier location. It still got a lot of sun and a lot of heat, but it was shaded in the afternoon. So this plant has a lot more green tones to it. It doesn't have as much purpling on it, but it allowed this plant to grow 2 new growths, and they are huge. They are way bigger than the previous growths, and one is already starting a sheath, and the second one may be coming later. But so far, I am really loving how these plants are growing, and once it blooms, it's going to be a beautiful show. So that is a quick recap of my cattleyas in bloom and on its way. I have several more that are still in growth mode, but for now I just wanted to share with you the ones that are just really exciting. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel Attainable Green to follow along on my orchid journey. I hope you're all staying safe and staying healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!